Laura Mercier is getting called out for copying Huda Beauty over a mint powder. But here's the thing, this trend didn't start with either brand. Huda Beauty's Easy Bake powders have built a cult following over the years. They're known for being super blurring, matte, and coming in a wide shade range, including pink, yellow, and now color correcting tones. The brand has really leaned into the idea that powder isn't just translucent anymore, it's part of your complexion routine. On the other hand, Laura Mercier has been the setting powder brand for literally a decade. Like, this is the powder every makeup artist has in their kit. But historically, Laura Mercier has been very safe. Mostly translucent shades with minimal color play. So now they drop a mint powder and suddenly everyone's calling them copycats. When in reality, color powders have existed for years. So instead of just jumping in on that take, I want to break this down properly. Not just the products, but the history, formulas, and why this launch is actually a lot smarter than people give it credit for. So let's start with something practical, price and value, because this always gets overlooked in these conversations. So starting with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. You get 20 grams of product for about $39 US, and that works out roughly at about $1.95 per gram. And formula-wise, this powder is designed to do a lot, not just setting your makeup. It's color correcting, blurring, and adds that matte, almost filtered finish. So you're paying for that transformative, full glam effect. Now, if we compare that to the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, you're getting 29 grams for about $43 US, which brings it to around $1.48 per gram. So straight away, even though Laura Mercier feels much more expensive as a brand, you're actually getting more value for your money. And the formula really reflects that difference in the approach. Laura Mercier's powder is ultra finely milled, designed to set makeup for 16 hours, control shine, and give a really natural finish without adding extra color. So it's less about transforming your makeup and locking it in. And this is where I think the perception gap starts to happen. Huda Beauty feels very current, very influencer driven, very worth the hype. Whereas Laura Mercier feels more classic and understated. So people associate Huda with innovation and Laura being a bit behind. But when you look at what you're actually getting, Laura Mercier is still very competitive, especially for everyday use. And this is where the real difference comes in, because these powders are actually designed for two completely different things. With Huda Beauty, the formula is very intentional. It's matte, quite heavily blurring, and the pigment is stronger, especially in the colored shades. So when you use something like a pink or purple powder from Huda Beauty, you actually see that effect on the skin. It's giving that perfected, almost filtered finish. Which makes sense because the brand really grew during that full glam YouTube beauty era. It's designed for baking, setting, and creating a very polished look. Whereas Laura Mercier is the absolute opposite philosophy. The powder is much more finely milled, less pigmented, and overall lighter on the skin. So instead about changing the tone of your makeup dramatically, it's more about subtly setting and smoothing everything. It's the kind of powder you can use every day without feeling like you have a full face on. And I think that's why this comparison is so interesting, because people are acting like they're direct competitors when sure, in the sense of beauty, they absolutely are. But the products individually actually serve very different audiences. And you can really see that in how people talk about these powders. Some people absolutely love Huda Beauty powders because it gives that smooth, perfected, almost airbrushed look. Then you'll see others who always go back to Laura Mercier. Not because it's trendy, but because it's reliable. So even before this whole mint powder thing, these products have existed in slightly separate lanes. Now this is the part I feel like nobody is talking about properly. Because the idea that Huda Beauty invented colored powders is just not true. If you were watching beauty YouTube during its peak, and I'm talking about 2015 onwards, colored powders and color correcting were everywhere. Back in 2015, NYX had a green color correcting powder, and Physicians Formula was doing multicolored correcting powders as early as 2012. And even beyond that, color correcting as a concept of makeup has been around for decades. So this idea that green setting powder is something new is just not true. People were using banana powders to brighten under the eyes, pink powders to counter out dullness, green tones to neutralize redness, and purple to add brightness back into the skin. This wasn't niche knowledge, it was standard makeup techniques. So what Huda Beauty did wasn't invent the concept, all they did was modernize it. They made it aesthetic, cohesive, and easy to understand with a single product line. And they marketed it really well. So now because Huda is the brand people associate most with colored powders, it feels like she created it. But in reality, she's just repackaged something that already existed, in a way that resonated with a new generation of consumers. And this is exactly why Laura Mercier releasing a mint powder makes so much sense. Because the market has already been educated, people understand colour correction now. They're more comfortable using different tones in their routine, and they're more open to buying multiple powders with different purposes. So Laura Mercier stepping into that space isn't copying, it's adapting to what consumers already want. And honestly, it was kind of inevitable, because if your brand is already really well known for setting powder, wouldn't you want to expand into colour? So at the end of the day, Huda Beauty didn't invent coloured powders, they just brought them back into the spotlight. And Laura Mercier isn't copying, they're just evolving within the industry. And neither brand can take credit for doing it first. This whole debate really just shows how quickly people forget where trends actually come from. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you see this as copying? Or is this just an example of the natural evolution of beauty trends? And realistically, which one would you actually buy? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, I'm gonna leave this video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet already. And if you want to see any other content I don't create here, check out my Instagram at makeupwithalex. All of my socials are linked down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!